What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm very excited to talk about a unique topic. I'm sure somebody's done it, but a unique topic to my channel, let's say. And this is talking about particular formulations that I find brands have done for either a collaboration or for a holiday release, or have subsequently decluttered it or kind of taken it off of their brand's website. And I feel like these are some gems in their range that they need to bring back. If I appear to be crying, I kind of am. I am trying to test out contacts for the first time in like 14 years. So I do apologize, but we're going to get through this video and I don't think it'll be too distracting. The brand that really brought this to fruition is actually One Size. Now, One Size, I find, is a brand that has a lot of gems that a lot of people have been enjoying throughout the years that it's been in existence. Their foundations, their primers, their setting sprays, etc. And I'm not going to say that I don't like them. I've tried pretty much all of them. Being a combination oily gal, I feel like it is just I have to. But one of my favorite products from them, outside of their latest foundation, I've really been enjoying that foundation, is this Fantasia highlighter. And unfortunately, they have not released this as a permanent formulation in their range. They need to. This formula is so pretty. It is actually a formula that I have on my skin right now, and I applied a very light dosage of it. If you've seen me when I was at the peak of using this a day in and day out, this can become extremely blinding. This is absolutely stunning highlighter, and the formula is very much a Bake Gelée formulation. It is pretty much poured into the pan. That's pretty much what a Bake Gelée means. And this formulation, this particular color, actually works for a huge range of people. If you are very familiar with my channel, you've heard me talk about Laura May Beauty 10 times over at this point. And she is actually the person that recommended this formula to her audience. I happened to be watching that video and I decided to go in store and swatch it, and it worked beautifully on my skin. Ever since I picked it up, and I have been loving this formula ever since. I think that this is really something that they should not only reformulate and become permanent, but have a wide range, and they would really have another hit on their hands. Like I said, a lot of people really go to One Size for their base products, such as, like I said, the primer, their setting spray, their foundations. And I'm not going to say that all of those products are bad. A lot of them don't work personally for me and how I like my base to appear. But that said, this is the product that really works for me. And this is the product that I think is an unsung hero in their range that they really need more people to talk about, because to me, it's a gem. Keeping it going, another brand that I have quite a lot of. This is the brand that I have the most products to talk about, actually. And this is from Pat McGrath. Now, Pat McGrath does a lot of limited edition collections, and subsequently, since she's been a brand, she's done a lot of holiday collections. So I have a lot of kind of demonstrating items to talk about with you guys. So two are some of her like known Bake Gelée highlighters. She tends to come out with these, like I said, for a holiday release or for a collaboration. This is one of her better formulas when it comes to highlighter. I'm not going to say that her permanent range highlighter is not a good formula, because it is, but for those who liked Bake Gelée, there's a reason you like Bake Gelée. It really just flows on the skin. It just looks like your skin, but just shiny in that zone. And if you get the perfect shade, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit. And so it's honestly astonishing that she has not come out with a range of highlighters with this, like, what does she call it? She calls it her Sublime Skin Highlighter range. I'm truly surprised that she has not made this range permanent. Instead, she has this range, which is, like I said, still good. This is her Divine Glow highlighter, but it's not as good as her Sublime. And the Sublime, oh, it It's just delicious. It honestly is delicious, and I highly recommend. Unfortunately, she did not come out with a highlighter this year, or my grubby hands would have been on it like white on rice. But that's probably because last year's highlighter was the exact same highlighter that she's done, the shade, for like 3 years. So hopefully, if she does another highlighter next year, it's a different shade, and then my grubby hands can pick it up. Because I'm telling you, that is a formula that you cannot sleep on. It is absolutely stunning. It does cost a stupid amount retail, but never buy Pat McGrath full price. Never. So we don't even have to discuss that. The other two Pat McGrath items are actually two of her face palettes. Once again, I think these are some unsung heroes in her range that people really slept on, and honestly, the brand slept on as well. Once again, you have her more permanent range of highlighter, and then you have two permanent shades of blush. This, to me, is spectacular. You get 3 different permanent formulations and shades for a fraction of the price. And I have worn these palettes left and right. They're absolutely stunning. This I think is 2 years old, and this one I think came from last year. Yeah, this one came from last year because this one has the bronzer, the blush, and a different shade in the highlighter. This is the same formula, but this shade is not permanent. This highlighter, or this bronzer shade, is permanent, and I do believe that blush is permanent. But the fact still determines that this is a type of product that I think so many people would get use out of picking up from her range year around, that I think she should really consider having a permanent face palette, especially a trio like this. I definitely think that bigger face palettes are out, and I don't really see them coming back in the grand scheme of things. But that said, I definitely think that the concept of this trio, specifically even this trio where you get one bronzer, one blush, and one highlighter, could be perfect for her audience and for the people who really continue to support her and her brand. You will see a lot of these products are actually these face type products. I find that these are the products that brands, for whatever reason, don't re-release. They'll typically re-release like a formulation in an eyeshadow palette that they released limited edition for like a permanent range. For example, I was going to potentially actually pick up this one because this is one of the only palettes from ColourPop that has lasted in my collection for a very long time. I haven't picked up ColourPop in easily 4 or 5 years, something like that. And this palette has been here this whole time, along with the other one in its like family. It's the Mandalorian palette, but this is the favorite between the two. This formula is really, really good, but I can't say that this formula is unique to this palette. This is the ColourPop formula. I just find that a lot of ColourPop products are just not necessary for me. You know what I mean? So a lot of brands, I think, will take their eyeshadow formula and they'll continue to use it along with the other palettes that are more permanent in their range. But there's something about these face products that I just don't find they do that. Even lip products, I find they do it. That's fine. But there's something about the face products for me that I find they don't continue to share the wealth. Share the wealth. So one of the oddballs out, actually this is the oddball out in this video, is a product that actually was not limited edition, but it's actually been discontinued from the brand. And I want them to bring it back and do it even better than they did it this time around. I have grown to love this product for what it is, right? It is a bronzer duo where I will get a very, very neutral bronze and then something that I can use if I tend to highlight under eyes too brightly. I used that concept, and that was a technique that I learned from Khaki. If you don't follow her, highly recommend. And yeah, this has been something that I've enjoyed. That said, I don't think that this range ran deep enough. This is the darkest shade in the range, but I think that this technique, or even the concept of this powder, which is a very sophisticated powder, should be used and adored by so many. And if memory serves me correctly, the last time I researched this to actually link it, it was only the dark shade that was no longer in production. So I'm hoping that that means that he's going to potentially extend the range and or even make this darker shade not a true dark shade in his range. I don't really know, never talked to Wayne Goss a day in my life, but I loved this formula, and I still love this formula. It's going to continue to stay in my collection, and I just want more people who potentially have not experienced makeup or been able to afford makeup in the past that is of this price and is looking to afford something that is such a luxurious bronzer to be able to do so with his bronzer, hopefully in the future. Alrighty, so 2 more products left that I could find in my collection. I have this palette from Bobbi Brown. Once again, this is a trio from Bobbi Brown. Now, this is not a brand that I really pay too much attention to outside of the holiday season. I will be honest with that, but I'm pretty confident in the fact that this brand does not have these formulas in their main range. I do believe they have a range of highlighter, bronzer, and blush, but not this beige gelée type formulation. And this is the formulation that I think they should really make permanent. I absolutely adored this palette last year. I did pick this up last year, and I won't lie, I haven't actually reached for it, mainly because it was tucked away in a specific drawer. And that's another thing that I want to kind of mitigate next year when it comes to how I'm working through my makeup. I really want to be able to see a lot more makeup easier and to potentially reach for them quite easier. But I also had a lot going on this year. I had like two different jobs. I moved different states, all of the gambit. So I give myself a little bit of grace there. But this palette was one of my favorite face palettes from last year. And I really think that if people were able to try this formula, they would really give Bobbi Brown some more attention and at least check for the brand. I feel like most people, at least in the YouTube beauty sphere, really don't even check for Bobbi Brown, and it's because a lot of the good stuff gets sold out during holiday or is really not brought back for a permanent range. Really got to bring back those gems so people stay. Okay, anyways, the last product that I want to talk about is one that has irritated me to my life's soul. This is the Glam Light Blush Duo for Scooby-Doo. I tried this blush duo, and I also tried the subsequent the subsequent eyeshadow. And these were the 2 products that I found finally I could enjoy some Glam Light products. I also did their lip duo, which people loved that YouTube short. Anyways, my issue is that I have not been able to find a blush duo since that has the exact same formula. All of the other blush duos have some other funky formula that I have not appreciated. I don't know if it's the different colors. I don't know. I don't know. But what I know is that this is the formula that I hope Glam Light can use going forward. The formula here was thick, it was opaque, and it was blendable. There have been many formulas since I have tried that one that I've picked up, and they've been thin, they'll fluff off my face. It just doesn't stick. This one has more binder, I would assume, than the ones that I've been picking up. And it's just the overall thicker formula. And so for that reason, I find that, why do I want to keep buying face palettes from them when I can't get this formula and know that I'm going to enjoy the formula? Like, I want to be able to pick these things up, but I want this formula. This one. So anyways, I have now gone through, the handful of palettes and products that I can think about that have been not re-released or that are unique or just really good for a brand. I would love to hear down below, what are those products for you, for your collection that you've picked up and you're like, why does this brand not have this as permanent? Or why is this range not extended for more people to try, such as the Wayne Goss? Let me know down below. I would love to hear from you guys because I'm sure you guys have a different collection to me and also probably even a more expansive collection to me. So I would love to know those opinions, and maybe you have something that I didn't think about. I know another product, I guess I didn't think about this. This is the Lunar Beauty Highlighter. I heard through the grapevine that this has not been restocked since it sold out originally. Manny, this is a gem, I absolutely love this highlighter. This highlighter will be pulled out of my cold dead hands. This highlighter is stunning. And if you know me, I am not a huge fan of actually bronze highlighters. I just don't get a huge amount of enjoyment from them. I don't find that they are very flattering on my skin, but there's something about this one. I think it's the sparkle that runs throughout and the warmth in this bronze. Speechless. Absolutely speechless. So let me know down below, what are those products for you? I'm going to stop talking because I'm probably going to keep finding more products to talk about, and that's not the goal. The goal was to talk about a small finite amount of products and see what you guys have to talk about. So with that said, I will see you guys in my next video, which hopefully will be tomorrow, seeing as we're in the middle of Swagmas. But if not, just know that your girl is trying and she'll be here as soon as she can. Alrighty guys, bye.